Greetings, my fellow YouTubians. I learned a great deal about the 1968 Chicago Democratic Convention from a documentary called Chicago 10. But I also thought it would be interesting to get a more first-person account. As it happens, my dad was living in the city right around the time that happened, and I wanted him to share a little of his experience there. Take it away, Dad.
Okay, hi Scott. We're in Lincoln Park, which is one of the many parks in Chicago along the lakefront, and it's quite near Old Town, which is not only an old part of town, but one where restaurants and bars have also always been a huge part of the nightlife. In this park, just before the Monday of the Democratic National Convention, peacemakers were gathered in this park. They were in tents, they were in blankets, they were peaceful. It was an extraordinary setting because downtown the Democratic National Convention was starting, and the peacemakers wanted to present peacefully their view on war. It was fine. The police in this neighborhood have always understood the people in this neighborhood, and were good at dealing with flower children and whatever was happening in their lives. Here we are in Old Town. This is the main drag for entertainment for the young and old. It always has been. It was in 1968. And right at this intersection, North and Wells, I came home one day from work in my three-piece dark gray banker's suit and encountered a whole group of people. This intersection was packed with flower children, people in colorful clothes, big hair, and smiles on their faces. The police were gently keeping the crowd back so one lane of traffic could go through each way. And as I worked my way through the crowd, I noticed two things. One was that some kids were showing a police officer pictures of the family, and he had out his wallet and was showing pictures of his kids and wife. While that was going on, there were non-flower children behind this crowd yelling, let's go, swinging chains. No one was reacting to them at all. No one was paying any attention to them. A few days later, Mayor Daley decided that the park where the kids were sleeping should be cleared. They weren't going to allow them to sleep. What happened after that was the forces that wanted a little violence involved in this thing took over. So all that activity that people saw at the Democratic National Convention that took place downtown in Grant Park, across from the hotel where the convention was, were mad, angry, furious. They were climbing statues and tearing things down, and the National Guard was called in to help control this. So my question is, if Mayor Daley hadn't kicked those kids out of the park and let them stay where they were, would we have had a peaceful demonstration for peace in 1968? That's my story.